Join the conversation.
Join the conversation.
You're with Capetalk.
Well, the weather is certainly playing along with our life hack this week because we want to chat about things to do in Cape Town when it rains. The mid-year school holidays will kick off next week, and if you've looked at the long-term weather forecast, certainly for the first bit of it, you know that you are not going to be jolling around outside enjoying glorious sunshine, to say the least. So we thought we would share some winter-friendly family entertainment ideas with you, and quite appropriately, we're calling on the Inside Guide. Nikki Benatar is the editor, and she normally talks to us about restaurant news, but today she's picking up on a story of things to do inside in Cape Town winter. Nikki, it's lovely to have you back again. Welcome.
Thanks so much, Pippa. Lovely to be with you and your listeners.
Now, there is a great article on the site that is packed full of ideas. We can't possibly go through all of them today, so what I've asked Nikki to do is to focus primarily on the ones to do with kids, and I will just say to you that please visit the website to see the full version, because there are lots of activities for the mums and dads to be enjoying as well, from whiskey tastings to art museums and cooking classes and high teas and the like. But Nikki, and spas, yes, don't forget the spas. Okay, but let's keep the focus on the younger members of the family. It is their school holiday. We want to be able to do a few fun things with them. And look, let's start with some of the old favourites. Nikki, you can't talk about indoor activities in Cape Town without mentioning our world-class aquarium, for one.
Pippa, indeed. In fact, I visited on the weekend on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Insider tip, if you go after 3 o'clock, you get 50 Rand off the price of the entrance fee.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've still got 3 hours in there, and it is absolutely, as you say, world-class. Delightful for the young and the young at heart. I mean, I got totally immersed in the jellyfish exhibit.
Yes.
The shark exhibit is always a winner with my son. He's 8 years old and he has photos in every sort of way possible with the sharks. Mm-hmm. And yeah, there's just so much to do and so much inspiring stuff to see. There are puppet shows every 3 hours for the very little ones.
Yeah.
And it really is
it's just
tremendous.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, if you've not yet discovered the joys of the aquarium, particularly if you've got younger kids, it's really worth investigating the option of an annual membership, because for the price of only a little bit more than one entrance fee, you can end up being able to go multiple times, and it really does pay in the long run. I remember when my children were smaller, that's what we did, and it was an investment that paid off over and over and over again. So that's the Two Oceans Aquarium at the waterfront. And if you've got older kids, by the way, who are interested in the sea and wildlife and sea creatures, just keep an eye on their social media functions, because they regularly organize interesting courses and trash bashes on the beaches and the like that they can get involved with in a more sort of hands-on way. Okay, the other old favourite that jumped out at me from your list was the Clay Café. Nikki, I see it is now Clay Café's plural. The original flagship branch in Hout Bay has moved venue, and there are some new ones as well, I believe.
Absolutely, and I also did that this weekend, Pippa.
Okay.
We on our way back from Franschhoek, we popped in at the Paarl one.
Yeah.
And it is too wonderful. It's in the Groot Parijs wine estate in a 1700s old manor house, which has been beautifully restored. And what I loved most about it is that it's an intergenerational activity, which you don't see a lot of in South Africa. So there were grannies sitting with their grandchildren at tables, and moms and dads, and everybody just sort of painting away and getting on with their odds and bonds. It's rather lovely. And great coffee, easy cafe food. It really is a fun thing to do. And if the rain sort of stops for a minute or two, there's a trampoline and a jungle gym outside and lawns, and it's really a great outing for the whole family.
Okay, so in terms of costs, 45 Rand a person is the cost of your sort of basic access to the paints and the materials to work with. But the full cost of what you can spend there, Nikki, depends on which piece of pottery you decide you're going to paint. Is that correct?
Yes. Anything ranging from, I think I did a sort of a bowl, which was 80 Rand. My son did a head, which was 130 Rand or something like that. So yeah, it ranges. And then, of course, your food. So it's not a cheap outing, but you can spend an entire afternoon there, and, it really is a fun day out.
Absolutely. And then you get the little second helping later on when they phone you to say that your piece is ready to be collected after firing, which just kind of reignites the enjoyment again, which is lovely. Okay, so those are your Clay Café branches. Now, Nikki, the one that's new to the scene since my kids were little, which just looks like so much fun. Tell us about Total Ninja in OBS.
It is so much fun, Pippa. I have an 8-year-old boy who needs to let off steam regularly, and this is the ideal place for him on a rainy day, even not on a rainy day. There are just loads of inflatable... Well, it's an inflatable obstacle course, and they say it's the biggest in the Southern Hemisphere. And there are just places for them to jump and climb and tumble and do all sorts of things. And adults get involved too.
They've got different sort of activity levels. So if you are taking a very small kid, there is a child sort of centered course. If you are wanting to do the course with your child, you can opt for the more challenging level of difficulty, as it were. So really something the whole family can get involved in. They're based at Black River Park, and the cost, Nikki, it's 160 Rand for 1 hour, but they really make it worth your while to stay a little longer, don't they?
They really do. So the second hour is halved. So it's 240 Rand for 2 hours, and it really is a great way for them to let off steam. There's the gladiator pit and the wrecking ball, which are so much fun, and the boys come out sweating and panting, and
boys and girls, I'm sure, as well.
And
Total
girls,
Ninja
absolutely.
in OBS. Okay, so that one's at Black River Park. In a similar vein, this one has been around a long time, and I know it's equally popular with the adults as with the kids. But if you want them to have the experience of rock climbing, even when it's raining outside, City Rock in Pardon Island is still a go-to, isn't it, Nikki?
It's still a good one, and apparently there's a new one in Retreat, somebody was telling me yesterday, called The Block.
That's right. I've heard of that as well. Okay, I think Block 11 it might be.
Block 11.
Block 11.
Right.
So City Rock in Pardon Island and Block 11, your other option. And that, I mean, Nikki, you don't have to be an experienced climber at all. You can go as a complete novice, can't you?
Can go as a complete novice, and very helpful guides who show you the ropes, literally.
Literally. So you can either do the sort of traditional climbing wall, or you can opt for bouldering routes if you want to give those a try. And again, different difficulty levels, so even the younger kids can take part. The Pardon Island branch is open 7 days a week, and the cost is 180 Rand per adult, 160 Rand for students, and 150 Rand for younger children. And then, you've got the option, take your own gear or rent gear from them. You can pay for lessons if you want to get started on a professional footing. So lots of different options for those who want to explore rock climbing at City Rock, and do check out Block 11 as well. Now, Nikki, earlier in the show, one of our listeners sent in a voice note to say the best thing I've discovered is 3D glow-in-the-dark putt-putt. And I thought he was going to say in Milnerton, because I know you featured that in your article, but he said in Montague Gardens. I'm not sure if it's the same branch as the one in Milnerton, but either way, tell us about 3D glow-in-the-dark putt-putt.
I've actually not done either of those, Pippa.
Okay.
I'm surprised to hear about the one in Montague Garden. I mean,
Yeah. I'd not heard of that before, but there we go. The concept is it's your traditional mini golf course, 18 holes, but this one is a space-themed indoor course that's got UV light and all kinds of designs, and you can wear 3D glasses to create all kinds of illusions along the way. So, I mean, if it's not hard enough just trying to get the ball in the hole, you've now got to do it with space aliens jumping out at you while you're doing it. But it sounds like an awful lot of fun.
I hear it's an absolute blast, and of course there's a little cafe there for hot beverages and snacks, and you can buy all your little accessories from a little shop there too.
Okay, and just to note that usually during the week, during the term time, the Milnerton branch is open on weekends, but for the school holidays, they do extend to weekdays as well. So check them out. Glowing Rooms is the name of the business, and the cost is 130 Rand for an 18-hole course. Okay, next up, some really retro fun. The Rollercade at Battery Park. Nikki, I mean, Stranger Things has made roller skating cool again, but a lot of South African kids would have grown up without the experience of ever going to the roller rink. Tell us a bit more about this one.
Yeah, this is a great one to do. If you like whizzing around on wheels, that's exactly what it is. And just fun for teens more, I would say. Glitter balls, flashing lights, it's sort of like got a disco-esque vibe, and great music, and just a festive atmosphere.
Okay, so now that is in the parking area of the Battery Park section of the V&A waterfront, which is close to town, sort of on the canals for those who've not been there. And the lovely thing about this is it's open Wednesdays to Sundays. On a Friday and Saturday night, if you've got teenagers in the house, there's an evening skating, roller skating session, Fridays and Saturday nights. That's for over 16s only. So if you're looking for somewhere to take a first date to do something fun together, I think that's a great idea. I would have loved to be taken roller skating. I would probably have spent the night flat on my face for most of it, Nikki, but there we go. The cost of that is 150 Rand for a 2-hour session. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's great value, and 80 Rand with your own skates.
Okay, so if you've got your own roller skates, you can take those with you and almost half the price. Okay, That's Rollercade at Battery Park. The other kind of skating, of course, still on the radar. The ice station at Grand West remains a very popular option, and really their pricing is so affordable, Nikki.
So affordable and such a fun thing to do with the youngies.
Yeah.
I am so uncoordinated, so I sort of sit on the sidelines and my husband and son go whizzing around. But yeah, no, it's great fun.
Okay, so for those who've not been there, there's a full-size skating rink, and a mean full-size. They play ice hockey on it. The professional skaters do their training there. That is available for the older kids. And then there's a little mini rink outside under supervision for the very tiny under fives who want to have their first try. They've got very cute little penguins that they can hold on to for stability when they're learning. I wish they made those in adult sizes too, Nikki. Okay, so just the one thing to say about Grand West is you need to check in advance which session you're booking for, because the length of the sessions is different at different times of the day. You can book for 1 hour, 1.5 or 2-hour sessions.
That's
and
right.
The pricing is different, but it starts from as little as 70 Rand and in fact 60 Rand if you take your own skates with you. So that is open 7 days a week as well at Grand West. And while you're at Grand West, a reminder, they've also got a games arcade and 10-pin bowling and a laser tag facility as well. Nikki, not the only place you can bowl. There's also bowling at Stadium on Main in Claremont. That centre's had a very nice revamp lately. Tell us about Let's Go Bowling.
Let's Go Bowling is a very fun thing. I've been to a few kiddies parties there. Lovely pizza oven, delicious pizzas you can get for afterwards. And I'm just looking here on the prices. Pippa, sorry.
Okay, sure. I think I've jumped around a little bit and maybe thrown you off there. But it's in the Stadium on Main complex in Claremont, and it is your traditional 10-pin bowling arcade. I think there are about 8 or 9 or 10 lanes, Nikki. So you can take a big group and split yourselves up. You can make a birthday party of it very, very easily. And that one is on the main road in Claremont. Did you manage to find the pricing for us?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
It's 80 Rand for one game, and
Okay, so 80 Rand per game. And again, that's a nice one because that takes up quite a bit of time, doesn't it? It's a nice lengthy way to spend an afternoon.
It does.
Okay.
It does. And they do have arcade games on the side as well.
Okay, so if you're in between games, you can keep busy there. Now, Nikki, the next one is another one that's definitely in the old favourites category because it's something I used to do with my children who are now 19 and 16 when they were 9 and 6, and that is take them to the Planetarium. What's changed, though, is that the Planetarium, too, has had a really beautiful renovation done, and there is now this incredible digital dome with a 360-degree screen for them to enjoy. Tell us a bit more.
It is absolutely riveting. My son was completely taken. So were we.
Yeah.
There's a 360-degree screen, virtual voyages of the entire universe. And there are 9 shows, 3 of them specifically for children. So you need to just check the program.
Okay, and one note on this one. Unfortunately, the Planetarium is not immune to load shedding, so do check before you go that they're actually able to offer a show on the day that you're planning to go. Its entrance is 70 Rand for adults and 40 Rand for children. And
which is unbelievable value.
Yeah, for what you're getting there, it really is a very high-tech experience as well, so I agree. Nikki, the other thing to say is if you're going to the Planetarium, you would be silly not to take the opportunity to pop next door to the museum.
Absolutely.
Okay, the Iziko SA Museum, if you've not been, I mean, that's got all the things that fascinate children, the fossils, the dinosaurs, the giant squids, the whale skeleton. That alone will keep them entertained for hours, not so?
Absolutely, and it's just also undergone a refurb, so looking great and spiffy.
Okay, so do both of those in one day would be my suggestion if you're making a day of it. Now, thank you to the listener who sent us this suggestion that there is a new padel indoor court opening at the Builders Warehouse complex in Retreat. They say, I haven't tried it yet, but there's lots of excitement mounting among the local school kids. I have tried padel. I think you're supposed to say padel, not paddle. I've done the outdoor one in Claremont, and it is so much fun. Even for somebody who has the cohorts I do, it is so much fun. So that's really encouraging to hear that there's going to be an indoor version as well, which is great for the winter months for those who want to try it out. So thank you for tipping us off about that. And then Ivan asking whether there are any discounts available for pensioners at the aquarium. The answer is yes, there are. So I've just pulled up the pricing, Ivan, and the full price for adults is 235, but a pensioner will pay 175 Rand. And it really does pay to consider an annual membership if you think you're going to go more than once, because the price of the annual membership is 435 Rand, and you can go as many times as you want to within a year. So it really does pay. I mean, that's like 2.5 visits, and you've earned an annual membership, and that goes for the adult and child memberships as well. Okay, Nikki, thank you. You've picked out some really lovely ones for the kids. I just want to close by reminding everybody that the article that is up on the Inside Guide website has also got some really lovely suggestions for adults. So if you're looking for something a little bit different in the foodie space, in the drink space, in the spa space, as Nikki's mentioned, there are all kinds of new activities flagged on that article. And Nikki, it's still up and easy to find on the website?
Yes, very easy to find, www.insideguide.co.za, and you just type in the search bar, things to do in the rain, and it will pop up.
Okay, thank you so much, Nikki. Appreciate your input. As always, Nikki Benatar is the editor of the Inside Guide.